Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Good morning. Hello everyone. My name is Amer Azlan Abdul Jamal. I am one of the lecturer from the Faculty of Business Economics and Accountancy, Universiti Malaysia Sabah, from the program of Financial Management and Banking. So today I'm going to share with all of you the research that we have conducted entitled What Motivates the Young Adults to Save. It's a survey among university students in Sabah, Malaysia. So this research is part of the grants that we received from the university, and the full paper is available, and you can contact me if you need more information about this research. So, first of all, a bit of introduction on the importance of savings. As we all know, savings is very, very important, not only for the country, but also at all levels, from households to companies and to the government. So, for example, if a households do not save money, so they probably will have, it will probably attack their mental health, and they can easily turns into anxiety, and which might affect their relationship with the others. You see, so lack of savings or mismanagement of money could probably affect or give impact to households. That's on internal level. Same goes to companies and government. If less people save money, so therefore it will not give much or contribute to a level of savings at the national level. So money won't be channeled that much for public expenditure or for infrastructure development by the government. Therefore, the government will not be able to spur the economy, okay? And we won't have good prospect in terms of economic growth with the large amount of savings, particularly from the household sector. So according to the previous research, Domar, for example, and Kang, they mentioned that the speed of long-run economic growth depends on the ability to save, since a high saving rate will increase investments, affect capital accumulation, and also consequently stimulate the economic growth as a whole. So if you look at some statistics provided by the Department of Statistics Malaysia, this is the percentage of household savings from 2006 to 2014. If you look at the graph here, the percentage of savings among a Malaysian household is very, very low. On average, the rate was just about between 1.4% to 1.8% on average. So, and if we were to take out, if we want to consider the gross savings of the total percentage of GDP, the figure is much worse. It goes down to less than 1%. On average, it's just about 0.5%. So the blue lines here represents the gross savings of the percentage of disposable income, which means that most Malaysian households, when they receive their income, most of it went on expenditures, and very few goes into savings. So that's the current facts and realities that we are currently facing, particularly among Malaysian households. And if we compare ourselves with the other countries, like China, Australia, Korea, US, or even the EU country, we will rank at the very bottom of the charts here, as opposed to the other developing and developed countries. We are far behind than China, which has at least on average around 35% of household savings recorded. from 2006 until 2014. And if we compare ourselves with the other countries, like even the US, we know that the US, in terms of at the household level, the financial literacy level among the Americans are quite low. And we, according to past research, our literacy level compared to the Americans are almost the same, or in terms of the level. But surprisingly, they have much higher level of savings than us. So this kind of statistic is quite worrying, considering that we are, among of the developing countries and considered as the country that have the good prospect in terms of economic growth in the near future. But when we check with the reality, our percentage of savings amongst household is very, very low. So the Malaysian household debts have been on the uptrend, which has increased from 57% of GDP up to 70% in 2009. So which indicates that we do have problems in terms of household debts. And this debts percentage continues to rise sharply, which hits a new record of almost 88% of our GDP back in 2014, and therefore making our country as the most highly levered household in Asia. This is according to Bank Negara Malaysia. And if we compare ourselves with other countries, previously back in 2013, our leverage risk is categorized under the yellow zone, which is not that alarming. We were ranked together with India, Singapore, and Hong Kong. However, in 2016, we have successfully increased our ranking by joining the red zone countries, those of China, Hong Kong, and Japan. You see, that means that we have successfully increased our leverage risk. Well, this is obviously bad for our country, considering that we are not only save less, but also we have high percentage of debts among households. So we save less, but at the same time we borrow more. So the reason for the increase in the spiraling property prices, this was one of the reasons why that contribute to the increase in household debts problems. So a lot of Malaysian households, they put their money into property investments because of the high demands on this sector, which was caused by the rapid urbanization that prompted young adults in particular to buy their own property. However, there are also issues that were debated, particularly among young households, whereby the debt problems is caused by the lack of financial knowledge, besides of the increasing property investments. Other reasons was due to the lack of financial knowledge and also overspending. So these problems happens among our young Malaysian adults, especially in terms of spending money, whereby this group of people, they tend to always spend their money on unnecessary items. And this was partly due to impulse buying, inner control. They failed to control their, failed to have a good self-control, and maintaining an affluent lifestyle that prompted them to resort to lending to satisfy their needs. So most of the young group adults, they tend to follow their peers in terms of spending money. So they are among the group that considered trapped under the impulse buying behavior. and also wanted to follow the lifestyle of their friends and peers. So because of the lack of discipline in terms of spending and also lack of financial knowledge, therefore the AKPK has recorded a total number of 280,428 individuals enrolled to their financial counseling program since the agency commenced operation back in 2006. And from all the cases reported from all of those attended the program, 44% of them belong to the age between 30 and 40 age groups. So that means the young adults are among the highest group that join the AKPK program that seek for financial counseling and financial knowledge. So consequently, while savings level among young Malaysian adults is low and insufficient, their spending is excessive and they spend more. So that brings to the intention of this research. What actually motivates the young adults to save and have a better future, retirement planning? And we consider this a very important issue that needs to be addressed, because any results or outcomes from this study will further assist the policymakers on designing and implementing more practical financial programs that could benefit all the Malaysians, particularly the young adults. If we refer back to the savings theory, the life cycle hypothesis by Modigliani back in 1957, they hypothesized that at the early stage of their life, that means between the age of 20 and 40, this is the age level where people are expected to save more when they earn money. So between the age of 20 to 40, most people work to earn their living. And from the money that they earn from working, they are expected to save more rather than spend more. So meaning to say they have the higher chance to save besides besides other expenditures. So and when they retired, it is expected that this amount of savings that has been done previously during the younger days, it is expected the savings to reduce and they will start to use the savings during the retirement days. This is what has been said back in the life cycle hypothesis. But the reality is that a lot of people nowadays, we don't save much, especially those who already work and earn money. But at the same time, they don't save much, but they spend more. So that brings further to the research objective of this paper. Firstly is to determine the factors that influence savings behavior among students of higher learning institutions in Sabah, in Malaysia. And second objective is to determine the mediating effect of financial attitudes on financial literacy and savings behavior. So we want to see whether if the students are financially literate, would that further improve their attitude, and from attitude would further turn into behaviors or not? So we want to see whether attitude plays an important role towards changing behavior. So that will be the second objective. And this research mainly stems from the theory of planned behavior, which was initiated by Ajzen back in 1991, whereby he mentioned that behaviors is formed through intention, and intention could be formed by three factors. The first factor is subjective norm, the second factor is attitude, and the third factor is perceived behavior control. So these three factors would will form the intention, and from the intention would further translate into behaviors. So for this research, subjective norms refer to how social pressures affect the student's intention to save. And it is used to explain how the influence from parents and peers will give an impact towards their savings behavior. So that will be the first variables that we're going to use for this research. Secondly, attitudes. So attitude means the evaluation made by individuals towards certain behavior. And for this study, attitude is used to evaluate how financial literacy could predict the student saving attitudes and behavior. And the third variables that will be used is perceived behavior control, which refers to individual beliefs on the ability to perform such behaviors. And this perceived behavior control, we use it to explain self-control. As students with a high level of self-control, we perceive the ease of savings because they have the ability to regulate their desires, self-discipline, and delay the gratification. So self-control will be the third variables that measures perceived behavior control. And we will check whether self-control plays an important role or not in influencing the students' attitudes and behaviors towards savings. And from the underpinning theory, we further come up with the research framework of this research, whereby the formulation of this framework is based on theories and previous findings by Fabrega, Gatherhood, and Abdullah. So these are the frameworks. The first one is self-control, peer influence. You want to see whether peer influence and family influence would further affect savings behavior among the young adults. And we also use financial literacy as another variables to test whether it could further improve the attitudes and savings behavior or not. So basically, we involve internal and external factors of human behavior. Internal means the self-control, whether they're able to have a better self-control or not. And the external, and the second internal is the financial literacy in terms of knowledge, cognitive knowledge, whether the higher the knowledge is better, or the or the opposite round. And the external factors are the peer influence and family influence. So data and methodology. So the sample consists of students studying at public and private universities and college across major cities in Sabah. And the data collection was carried out using convenient sample technique. And this data were collected once we receive approval from the dean or the head of student affairs of each institutions. And to ensure the students' answering the questionnaire, we gave them a briefing on the purpose of the study, definition of each questions, and confidentiality of their responses were given before the students answered the questionnaire. So we collected around 1,728 questionnaires, which were completed and usable for the research. And this study used the structural equation modeling, the PLS approach for analysis of the data and research model. And this is the summary of the structural model. We see almost all of the variables that were tested were supported. So we go one by one in terms of the relationship between self-control and savings behavior. So self-control, if we define it again, is the ability to identify and regulate one's emotion and desire. So it is characterized by the exertion of will, self-discipline, and ability to delay gratification. So from our findings, we found that students' savings behavior improve when they perceive better and higher self-control. So this can be seen from the a significant level at 1% on the self-control and savings behavior construct. So this means that having such positive behavior could protect the students from making financial mistakes, such as buying on impulse, which could further lead to money management and credit problems. So students with a low self-control, if they are able to control their emotions or the desire to spend, so having the ability to delay this sort of gratification would further help them to make better financial decisions in life. And according to Fox, childhood self-control can predict adolescents' mistakes, therefore helping them to have better life outcomes when they improve their self-control overcome. So self-control is not an easy things that we can deal with because it comes from the inner self. And this can only be applied since childhood. So if we want to, if we have a kids at home, if we want to develop their self-control, it is best to start since they were young. So it all starts from the parents, because if we show them a good financial conduct or financial behavior, you see, let's say, for example, we don't entertain anything that they want. So that would further help them to have a better self-control when they grow up. And this is very important because once they grow up and they fail to have good self-control, it will, further lead them to overspend money excessively and won't able to delay gratification. So probably it's a bit too late for us to have a better self-control. Well, still we can do it, but it is best to start from young. Now, I did mention about the influence from parents, because this is another result that we obtained from this study. We found out that family influence, or the behavior shown by the parents, can positively impact the students' savings behavior. So we found out that, and this figure is significant at 1% level, which means that a close family bonding and influence from parents is the key to positive impact to children's future orientation. And it is the duty of parents to directly involve in shaping their children's future financial orientation, as it will trigger positive financial attitudes and behaviors. And we can do this. For example, if we do example of parental involvement could be in the form of home activities, like we do a frequent family meeting, and we provide a clear financial communication. We discuss about financial matters with our family members. We show or display a good financial and spending practices, and also participate in any savings program and financial seminars for parents. So these are some kind of activities or involvements that parents like us could do in order to have a good influence to our kids, so that they would have a better future orientation, and this can further avoid them to have a very low self-control in the future once they grow up. So yes, family influence is really, really important, which could affect their savings behavior. Besides family influence, peer influence also, we found that could have the influence or have the impact to influence the student savings behavior, significant at 1% level, which means that the findings suggest the students' involvement in any social and financial activities with their friends, such as money spending and saving, could significantly influence and affect their savings behavior. And this, our result is similar with the past research with Phil, for example, whereby they found out that women are able to spend or expand their businesses, less likely to be a housewife, and earn higher household income when they attended training with the presence of a friend. So you see how big the impact of a friend to our behavior. So other researchers also posited that there's a correlation between group and individual behavior, in which they observe that people with similar preference tend to stick in the same group. So if we have a similar preference with our friend, therefore we would stick in the same group of our friend and tend to follow what they are doing. So that form of influence we need to consider, which have impact to our behavior, particularly on savings. Besides family, peers influence, and self-control, we also found that financial literacy is one of the important factors. Not just important, it is the most powerful factor in shaping the student's savings behavior. This is the most powerful factor that we have discovered in our research. It means that financial literacy is very, very crucial and very, very important, which could affect and motivates the savings behavior. The arguments on the importance of being financially literate are proven because previous research have argued on the importance of having financial literacy, and this has been proven to be consistent with the other scholars. In view of this, there arises the need for financial education to be given a highlights and be embedded as part of academic curriculum, starting from the primary up to secondary levels of education in Malaysia. It is worrying that if students are not financially literate, it would greatly affect their ability to make informed financial decisions. So, all these decisions such as doing savings or investing for current use or for retirement purpose. So when we check the relationship between literacy and attitudes, because this is the second objective of the research, we want to check whether attitudes could mediate the relationship between literacy and behaviors or not. So what we found out is that when we try to look at the relationship between financial literacy and attitudes, there is a positive relationship between these two variables, which signifies the role of financial literacy as an important predictor to the student's positive attitude towards financial practices. So it means that the higher literacy the student has, that will further improve their attitudes on savings. However, interestingly, we also found that financial attitudes is not significantly related to the student's perceived behavior, whereby the result of our mediation test confirms that financial attitude does not mediate the relationship between financial literacy and savings behavior. Meaning to say that although the students are financially literate, it could improve their attitude, but it is not being translated into actual behavior. One example is that the students knew the importance of savings, therefore they have the high attitude to save. They have the intention, I want to save money, that form of attitude. However, when we do reality check, it turns out that they don't actually perform that behavior of doing savings. They have the intention to save, but they don't actually do it. And this could be due to the status of the respondents themselves as a students, where since they are not receiving regular salary or income and employed individuals, therefore they won't naturally be focused on the study. They would be focused on the study rather than bothering them with financial matters excessively. In addition to that, since the students do not earn regular income, but instead depends on monthly allowances or parents or scholarship, therefore their ability to save money would be rather limited. So being a full-time student, yes, they don't earn money from working full-time. So mostly they earn money from scholarships or from the parents' money, from the family. So from the money that they received, they would spend much on spending for all expenses as a student, but not for savings. So their ability to save money is rather limited. This probably would be different if they already started working and earn steady income, whereby they probably consider to make some budgeting and see and allocate the percentage amount of money to spend for living and also for investment and also for savings, but not for the case of university students. So this is what we have found out from our research. In a nutshell, all of the variables that we have tested are proven to be significant, which have impact to savings behavior. However, when we check the relationship between attitudes and literacy and behaviors, okay, attitudes does not mediate this relationship. So students probably have good knowledge and improved attitude, but not translated into behaviors due to the nature of their, they respond to themselves being a university students with no regular income to save. And that is all from me and from my team. I wish you all thank you. I would like to thank all of you for listening to our paper. And if you have any questions and you need more information about this research, feel free to call me or to contact me through my email address, amer@ums.edu.my. So we could further exchange some ideas and for further improvement of this research paper. So I would like to thank the conference organizer, the committee, for allowing me to share my research with the other participants, and that's all for me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.